Arcade Perfect by Arse. Right, okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect My Arse. This is Mr. Do, released by a company called Universal in 1982. Now, it kinda plays similar to Dig Dug, I think. It's not a game that I've actually played very much, though it is a really fun game. You play the part of a little clown, and to clear a level you basically just have to eat all the fruit. Once you've eaten all the fruit you move on to the next level. You can kill the baddies in one of two ways, I think. You've got this little bouncy ball thing which you can fire and it will bounce about and it will take out the nearest baddie. It does take a few seconds to kind of rejuvenate, so you've got to be kind of careful. The other way, and probably more effective way, because you get bigger points, is if you see these pieces of fruit, the large kind of apples, whatever they are, similar to kind of Boulder Dash, if you can get the baddies to kind of follow you and then drop a piece of fruit like so, it will crush them and give you big points. And there's also letters that float about. Now you see there I just got killed with a T. I thought you could pick these up, but that seemed to kill me, so I'm not quite sure. I guess it's not a game that I've actually played very often, but it is a really good fun game. Graphics are really nice looking. It's quite a bizarre idea behind a game. You play a part of a clown digging fruit, but then that's what all these early games were. Never actually played Mr. Do in arcades. I would imagine that they're probably quite hard to come by now because it was one of the very earliest games. Yeah, that's arcade one. So first up we have got the Apple II. And this is a loud bugger. I'm going to need to turn the volume down a wee bit. You can see the aspect ratio is obviously different. The arcade one was sort of portrait, long and narrow, whereas this one is obviously the aspect ratio sort of 4:3, which the actual computer would be itself. But it looks the part, and it certainly plays very well. Lack of music, I must admit, that's a wee bit disappointing. I'm not a big fan of music in games, but some games it just suits, and I think Mr. Do definitely needs music. Now you'll see there's a wee piece of, is it cake that's appeared? I'm really not quite sure how that works. You'll see once I eventually do pick it up. You also notice that each level is actually, the pattern is the actual number, so this is number 2. Or scene 2 as they call it. Now, like Pac-Man, if you just quickly run and pick up all the bits of fruit, you'll move on to the next level, but it's all about trying to harvest points, so getting on to the next level as quickly as possible isn't really the best way to play the game, because the game never ends, it'll just get harder and harder, so you really want to try and maximise points where possible. So what you want to try and do is get them to follow you and then walk underneath a piece of fruit and then just wait for the very last second and let it fall on them. The sound's actually very Spectrum like. I've just noticed that. There we go. Killed a couple of them. Yeah, that there, you pick up like a cake, or in that case a cocktail. I'm not quite sure what these are. I mean, if they kill you, I really don't know what I need to do at that point. Anyway, that's the Apple II one. That's not a bad little version. Right, next up is the Atari 800. Right away you can see just how authentic this one looks. Maybe not got quite the same kind of colours as the arcade one. But graphically wise, it really looks very, very similar. Well, again, obviously it's got a different aspect ratio, but that's just down to the computer hardware. Yeah, that's a bit silly what I've just done there. There's really nothing to be gained with dropping fruit like that. You don't get any points for it. And notice the tune in this one is the can-can. Yeah, you pick up that and you get these kind of baddies. But they seem to kill you, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you need to do in that instance. There was a sequel to this, I think it's Mr. Do's Castle, which is an excellent game. I'm going to do an arcade perfect of that at some point. I played it a lot back in the day in the C64. Two bits of fruit to get. That's a bit more like it. There we go. Yeah, again, that was a bit silly. You're better off leaving the apples where they are until you've got somebody actually chasing you. And you get a little bonus animation thing. I don't quite know what that's supposed to be. Deadly Clown. Yeah, that is the Atari 800 one. That's an excellent version. Really, really spot on. Right, this next one, you can probably tell this is Atari 2600 one. It's even got the same little sound effects when you're eating the cherries. It's really pretty impressive that, you know, a piece of hardware as basic as Atari 2600 can actually have versions of arcade games. Yeah, they're pretty primitive looking, the graphics are pretty basic, but you know, it's the fact that you can even play a game like that, and this is pretty special. Obviously, there's a lot less colour. Your little clown looks more like a kind of ghost. Dub 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 dub. Let's go for another go. You'll notice the sort of the tone changes. The more bits of fruit you eat in succession, the tone changes. I don't know if you get a bigger points for eating more in one go. Not quite sure. You seem to get 50 points per piece of fruit, so I don't think it makes any difference. That was cunningly concealed. Like, this one seems to differ slightly. The actual layout, you'll notice this doesn't show the level number. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be my choice of version to play, but for for such an old system like the Atari 2600, it's pretty impressive. And I think you would have gladly had this for Christmas, be able to play the arcade game in the comfort of your own living room. So yeah, there you go. That is the 2600. Like, this one is, it's not called Mr. Do, it's called Mr. E. But as you can see, it is exactly like the arcade one. The level looks different. It's not the number one like it would be in the arcade, but graphically wise, this is pretty close to the arcade. Nice use of colour. Just noticed that this has got the can-can tune as well. Did the arcade one have the can-can? It must have. I thought it was just the Atari 800 version had that, but no, I obviously wasn't paying attention. Take that. Ah, right. That's number 2. I've just noticed there I killed all the baddies and I moved on to the next level. So, right, is that how it works? So basically, you either eat all the fruit or you kill all the baddies. Never noticed that before. So there you go. That's how to get to the next level. Ideally, from a points perspective, you want to get all the fruit, maybe leave one last piece of fruit, and then kill all the baddies to sort of maximise the scoring. Now, the BBC's not renowned as being the best system for games, but this is a great wee version. This was back in the day when you could release an arcade perfect version and just change the name, although sometimes they didn't even bother changing the names. You would get arcade games released by another company, and they just, you know, copyright seemed to be less of a thing back in the sort of early 80s. Ah, bollocks. But the colours in this one are nice and bright and vivid, you know, very kind of quite close to the arcade. It's a nice version, quite surprised how good this is. Like I said, the BBC generally doesn't have many. I know there are some good games out for it, but generally when it comes to arcade conversions, it's usually kind of lacking behind. But yeah, that's a great version. Right, next up is the one I definitely played quite a bit back in the day, and this is the Commodore 64 one. Again, it's got the 4:3 ratio, which isn't true to the arcade one, but that's what the C64 displayed. Oh, it's going to be a bit heated now. Let's try and kill some baddies. Right, follow me. There we go, that's how we do it. And there's that piece of cake. The sound in this version is really good. Oh, run, Mr. Do. Yeah, the little ball thing, you can only kill one baddie. But this one's got the sort of the pace of the arcade one. It's quite quick and really kind of gets you going. Aye, that's got the can-can, so it must have just been me not paying attention. I didn't realise that it was the can-can music. Yep, that's pretty much spot on an arcade one. So that is the C64 one, another good version. Right, next up is the ColecoVision, with its multitude of levels. And like the Atari 2600 one, your little sprite is your sort of main character is just a little white guy. There's no no colour as such. Well, there is a colour, but just one colour. Do these guys disappear after a while? I'm really not too sure. I notice other guys have stopped, so can I kill them, possibly? No! I really should have done my homework before I started playing it, but that's the way I rock. Or that's the way I roll, I should say. Again, it plays pretty well. Colour wise, it's slightly dull. A lot of greens and purples. Don't know how many colours actually this level looks a bit better. I'm not sure how many colours the ColecoVision could actually display, but again, you tend to forget the ColecoVision is a very old system. So again, it's a, you know, say compared to like the Atari 2600 version, this is a lot better. I don't know how long the wee ball bounces for sometimes. Have I just died there? Surely not. Did I die there? I don't think I did. It looked like I died when I picked up the bonus letter. Have you got to shoot that maybe? Right, let's do this one last level and then we'll crack on with a different version. And this is level 3, brought to you by the colour yellow. There's a wee teeny bit sprite flickering going on there. You see that little bit of fruit flickering away there. That's again obviously just... Oh, that was silly. I was lucky there. There we go, level 3 in the bag. That was a Coleco one. Right, next one. This is Mr. Whiz. And this is on the Electron. Now, I don't feature many Electron games. Got to say, for an Electron game, it is actually really graphically wise. It is really nice. Quite detailed graphics. Sounds pretty woeful, I must admit. Now this is probably one of the most difficult versions because A, you can't use the joystick, I'm using keys here, and secondly it just plays so fast. Let's give it another go. Yeah, the sound's a bit blub 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 blub. Oh, sounds like you're in a bath or something. Again, I'm using this, it's an emulator I'm using for this, so you know, I don't know whether the sounds maybe slightly wonky because of the emulator rather than the actual hardware. I do have actually 2 Electrons in the loft, but I don't have any means to load anything in it, so it's not computers that I actually ever use. But yeah, pretty impressed with this when you consider, you know, how basic the Electron actually was. It was a very much a cut down kind of BBC. Right, next one up is Mr. Do, and this is on the Game Boy. Now, somebody did make a comment to me on, it was an Arcade Perfect, and I was talking about the Game Boy one, saying how good it was, and they made quite a valid point. Playing this on actual hardware, the screen in the Game Boy wasn't the greatest, and it couldn't really draw games that scrolled without blurring them. So if you were playing this on a real Game Boy, you would find that the graphics would be blurred. But obviously, using it on an emulator, the graphics look fine. You don't get any blurriness at all. So this is probably making the game look better than it would appear on proper hardware. But saying that, you know, it just goes to show that the actual hardware itself was pretty good. It was just obviously the limitations of the hardware back in the day, i.e. the screen, the LCD screen, that made the games look not quite as good. But yeah, getting back on track, this isn't bad. It looks slightly different from the arcade one. I mean, it obviously scrolls because of the size of the screen. The screen scrolls. And it's kind of got its own music. It's more like a kind of remix, I would say, than an actual Mr. Do itself. But you can see just how good the graphics are. You know, when you think it's all just different shades of grey, it's actually pretty good. Obviously with scrolling it's a bit harder to see what you've still got to go. You know, the game normally would have it all in one go, and it's got a slightly, it's even got to be cutscene. But anyway, listen, that's the Game Boy one. That's actually pretty good. Right, next one is the MSX. Was the MSX similar hardware wise to the ColecoVision? Does anybody know that? Because I always think the games do look quite similar. This one obviously plays it quite a bit slower than other versions, certainly compared to the Electron version. It's quite sedate. And I think this one would win the award for having the most irritating music ever. Whoa! Yep, I mean it's literally playing a 10-second snippet round and round and round and round and round and round and round. I think this would definitely be a case of you turn the volume down, because that music would get on your tits pretty quick. Apart from the god awful tune and complete lack of sound, apart from the tune obviously, it looks the part. Yeah, the sprites aren't multicoloured, but the actual backgrounds and that kind of stuff, it does look quite like the arcade one. But yeah, seriously, what were they thinking? I mean, yeah, they've used the Can tune, but just to play it over and over and over again would drive anybody daft. Surely when it was getting play tested, somebody would say, wait a minute guys, I think we need to cut back that music or introduce some sound effects. You know, it's quite possible there is an option to turn off the music and switch on the sound effects. I would hope so. Yep, there's a little death tune, or death sound I should say. Oh god. Dink, dink, bonk. Aye, anyway, listen, that's alright. The tune that would just kill it stone dead for me. Right, this next one, this is one of my favourite systems, although I don't actually own it. This is the Sharp X68000. Now this was actually came in a double pack with Mr. Do's Castle as well. Now as you would expect, this one is, for all intents and purposes, arcade perfect. I mean, this was a powerful machine, so knocking out a crusty 1982 game was never going to be a challenge for it. Whoa! I was lucky. That were lucky, lad. Oof. I'm riding my luck today, I think. Yeah, I mean you can hear the can-can tune playing repeatedly in this one, but what kind of breaks it up is the fact that you've got the little tune when you're picking up the bits of fruit, you've got the sound effects. But the problem with that MSX one, all it had was the can-can tune, which would drive you to drink. Come to Dad. A little baseball cap. And there's little fiendy things that chase you. Let's see if we get the wee cutscene. Ah, there we go. Very good. Evil clown. Right, this next one, I was actually quite surprised when I just clicked in just to see if there was a version. This is actually on the Super Nintendo. Really surprised to see this get a release. You know, people were wanting to play Mario Kart, they weren't wanting to play 1982 games. But this one has got the correct aspect ratio. This sort of vertical sound, as you would expect, is top notch. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what person would have bought this game back in the day. I mean, I don't know when this came out for the SNES, probably, I don't know, 91, 92. You know, retro wasn't really a thing back then. People didn't want to play old games, people wanted to play new three-dimensional games with bitmaps and Mode 7, so they wouldn't want to play a 1982 arcade game. So it's an interesting release actually. Ah, you cheeky sod, he just went through the grass there and got me. So yeah, there's quite, I've got one more version after this, quite a few different versions to think about. Now there wasn't a version of this for Amstrad, I certainly couldn't see it. There may have been a version that was called something completely different. But again, this being an early arcade game, the Amstrad came along slightly later than the C64 and Spectrum. I mean, on cartridge this would have cost probably 35 quid, which was a lot of money for what would have been considered a very, very basic game. Maybe now people would be all over it, but like I says, back in 1990, 91, whenever it was, you know, would you rather have the latest Street Fighter game, or would you rather have a game like this? So yeah, listen, that is the SNES, that is a fantastic version, and the very, very last one, this is called Hard Cheese. This is the only version of Mr. Do on the Spectrum I could find. I couldn't find any other version. There may well be other ones out there. If there is, let me know what it is, but I did Google it. I just basically put in Mr. Do type games for Spectrum, and this was the only one that came up. Similar sort of game. You play the part of a tractor, I think, and I'm not quite sure what you're actually trying to, the moles or something. I'm really not sure, but yeah, I put it in just because I wanted the Spectrum to be represented in this video, but it's not really Mr. Do. Similar kind of game, but so anyway, listen, just to very quickly recap, a lot of versions to consider. I'm going to go in third place. I think I am going to go for the Atari 800 over the Commodore 64. I love the Commodore 64 one, but I think I like the graphics slightly more than the Atari 800 one. So that's going to be my gold, my bronze position, third place. In second place, I'm going to go for the SharpX 68000. It's pretty much arcade perfect. The layout is slightly different, so that's why it's not getting the gold position. But my favourite version of this has got to be the Super Nintendo one. A surprise release, but it really, really looks like the arcade one. It plays like it's got the proper aspect ratio. So there you go, that is it, guys. Anyway, listen, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If there's a game you want to see featured, please put it in the comments below. And as usual, thank you very, very much for watching.